That dastardly Anakin Skywalker, not only did he blow up the Death Star, but he became Darth Vader and then built the Death Star. Yep, that's right. Star Wars, the Acolyte actor, has come out and claimed that Anakin Skywalker blows up the Death Star. Of course. Did it multiple times, by the way. And that recent Disney Star Wars shows did not feature Jedi. Sorry, what? They didn't feature Jedi? What's that? Obi-Wan Kenobi? Ahsoka? Admittedly, Star Wars The Acolyte was filmed over like 4 years. But still Ahsoka, Obi-Wan Kenobi. I mean, come on now. Come on. This is a recent interview, by the way. It's not 4 years ago. This is a brand new interview. Ah, Star Wars The Acolyte. You are going to buy me a TA-21, TA-22 Toyota Celica. I swear it. You're going to buy it. Give it. Come on. Let's go. Anyway, the nonsense from these people is absolutely staggeringly insane. How can you claim Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star? What are you doing? What are you doing? You did it twice. Hit subscribe if you're new, folks. Turn the bell notifications on. And please do check you are subscribed, because YouTube has unsubscribed a whole bunch of people. I know that because you guys have told me. Anyway, let's take a look, shall we? So there's this guy, this dude here. He thinks that Anakin blew up the Death Star. Oh yes. Star Wars Acolyte actor Charlie Barnett attempted to paint himself as a Star Wars fan. Same as Leslie Headland as well, I'm sure. But came up looking completely ignorant about the franchise by claiming that Anakin Skywalker blew up the Death Star. Now look, I'm not even a Star Wars fan. Like I like Star Wars. Like I like some Star Wars stuff, but I'm not like I'm a rabid fan. I wouldn't call myself a fan. I'm not someone that knows the intricacies of Star Wars. But even I know Anakin didn't blow up the bloody Death Star, you spanner. What are you doing? God. Anyway. Obviously you just end up looking like a tit. So in an interview with the Nerds of Colour. Nerds of Colour. I see. Barnett's first comments were to claim that Jedi had not been featured in recent Disney Star Wars films and shows, despite them being prominently featured in the most recent series, Ahsoka. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, of course. Luke Skywalker is also featured in, The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, and The Mandalorian. He was in The Mandalorian as well. So he said, and quote, "One of the things that was the most terrifying is stepping into that position of Jedi. We haven't seen a lot of Jedi in the last couple of films or even TV shows that have been coming out. So returning to that storyline and reinvesting in it was daunting because the Jedi are these, fucking hell. This is why gatekeeping is important. Because these people are just turds. So next he would claim that Star Wars films that he saw portray the Jedi as godlike beings. And from where I was growing up, from the films that I was seeing, what films have you been watching, mate? They were better than could be. They were the utmost and could do nothing wrong. It was this kind of godlike nature. What films are you watching? Are you watching porn parodies or something? What have you been watching? Godlike nature? What are you on about, mate? Do you mean they could do nothing wrong? Luke Skywalker was barely a Jedi until the end. And even then, was he really? Maybe, I don't know. And then the early days, they weren't godlike. They did plenty wrong. They led to the downfall of the Jedi. What are you smoking? Unbelievable. So getting to see more of the personality, seeing a little deeper root into them was terrifying. Like, how are we going to explore outlets of a story of people we've known so much about and do it in the ways that people love to hear about them or see them? This guy's a douche. It's unclear what films he watched. Yep. This article, by the way, is linked down below. But the Jedi are clearly never portrayed as godlike beings in any of the 6 films that George Lucas helmed. In the original trilogy, the Jedi have clearly been driven into exile and defeated by the Empire. Yep. Obi-Wan even informs Luke Skywalker that his father was killed by Darth Vader. Yep. Obviously, it would later be revealed that his father was consumed by the dark side and became Darth Vader. In the prequels, it's very obvious that the Jedi can do a lot wrong. Qui-Gon Jinn expresses this to Obi-Wan Kenobi repeatedly in The Phantom Menace. He's also killed by Maul at the end of the film. Yoda also makes it clear that the dark side has clouded his vision. Then in Revenge of the Sith, it's very clear that the Jedi are not all powerful godlike beings, as they're defeated by the machinations of the Emperor, which involve their own clone troopers, gunning many of them down. What are you talking about, you douche? So despite trying to paint himself as a fan, Barnett clearly does not know what he's talking about, but later in the interview he made an even greater faux pas, because he declared that Anakin Skywalker destroyed the Death Star. Fucking hell, mate, honestly. When asked about his character's relation to good and evil in the show, Barnett answered in part, and quote, "This good and bad element, it's so dependent on your experiences, your history, your parents, your friends. Like, so much bleeds into that. And that's what makes it, you know, why Palpatine would be committed to the directions that he's committed to, as bad or good, however you view it. I personally will see it as bad. Obviously. He wants to rule the Empire. What, come on. But a lot... Come on, what are you doing? Of course it's bad. It's not even a perspective. Of course it's bad. Like, Star Wars is quintessentially good versus evil. What are you high? But a lot of people would see the sides of like, well, Anakin just killed a whole Death Star. How many people died on that? Is that not bad? No, mate. No, kill the Death Star. Blow it up. It's fine. No one cares. No. No one cared about the Death Star blowing up. No one was like, oh my god, he's murdered people. Oh, give it a rest. I find that part of Star Wars really human and the best that. Oh, what dip shit. In a separate interview with Collider, he reiterated his belief that Anakin blew up the Death Star. When asked about how his character reckons with the idea that good and bad are in the eyes of the beholder, Barnett answered, "In my mind, it's so funny to me because it literally, as a person who's outside and just a fan coming in, that was what was so beautiful and interesting to me. People have been talking to me online about how Darth Vader is such a bad person. It's very clear. And it's very well established from those actions. But if you can't look and see that Anakin blowing up the Death Star, killing millions and millions of people, I'm going to get in trouble for saying this right now. That is the beauty of this story. And it's the beauty of life. It's not about holding people to the fire when they do make the wrong decisions or when they're bad. But recognising why they led to the places that they led is important. I think it's why Lucas wrote it. You are such douche. Oh, mate, the Acolyte. It's going to bomb so bad. With such fans like this, how could it possibly bomb? Ah, Jesus. What a dipshit. Anyway, there you go. What a funny piece of video content for you today. Cracks me up. If you enjoyed this, please do hit that thumbs up button. If you like what I do, please support further via Patreon. It's linked down below in the description box. Support for as little as $2 a month would help out because YouTube does demonetize the channel. Or you can support for even more. There's even more. You could give me all your money. That'd be great. Bye.